am Phoebe. Today's narration is a Dragon Ball Z fanfiction that I originally posted on fanfiction.net in April 2009, and that story is Love Potions. Gohan-san was sitting in the storage room with his girlfriend of 2 years, Videl, hidden away from the rest of family and friends. If found like this, someone would suspect that the two teenagers were up to something suspicious. I didn't think we were ever going to get rid of them, Videl sighed, not believing that she was hiding in a storage room from a toddler and two hyperactive children. Hopefully they won't find us, Gohan said, looking around the corner of some of the crates they were currently hiding behind. I don't really want to have them pour their love potion all over us. You don't think it'll actually work, do you? Videl asked her boyfriend. I don't think it'll work the way they planned for it to work. Knowing Trunks, they have been playing in Bulma's lab, and whatever it is they've made, it's probably toxic, Gohan informed her. Videl gulped, not believing how dangerous the three children could be when they're all together. Why are they making a love potion for us when we're already dating? I think that my mum has put the idea into my brother's head that we don't really love each other because my mum isn't a grandmother yet, Gohan answered, keeping his kai as low as possible. Seems like they've recruited Table, Gohan said, sensing the younger brother of Vegeta now following the kids around. Someone's coming, Videl said, hearing footsteps coming into the storage room, moving closer to Gohan as someone came through the door. Both sighed in relief as the light was turned on and no sign of the children were anywhere. What are you two doing in here? Bulma asked, seeing Gohan and Videl sitting beside some boxes. She had a look on her face that suggested she'd managed to catch them in the act of mischief. We weren't doing anything, Gohan said nervously, hoping that Bulma wouldn't jump to the conclusion, which, of course, she already had. Hiding from three little kids and their love potion, Videl answered, rolling her eyes at her boyfriend, who hadn't given a reason for them hiding. Why are they trying to cover you in a love potion? You have been dating for 2 years now, Bulma stated the same thing as Videl had already asked. Mum doesn't think our relationship has been progressing fast enough. Goten has got the idea that he needs to help us. He's recruited Trunks and Marin, Gohan answered. Ah, Bulma said, understanding what her friend was like. If they left you both alone, they'd get more progress than harassing you. Bulma, is there something that you're looking for? We can help you find it if you like, Videl offered. Yeah, I don't think the kids will try anything while we're with you, Gohan answered, hoping that Trunks would be scared off by his mother. I'm looking for the old baby things, Bulma mumbled, only just being heard by Gohan. Wow, what? I'm surprised. Congratulations. I had no clue. I mean, you're older than my mum, so I didn't even suspect, Gohan said, sensing the faint kai signature from Bulma that was not hers. He couldn't believe that he hadn't sensed the baby sooner. He had known as soon as his mum was pregnant with Goten. I know, I didn't suspect a thing either. I thought I was going through menopause, Bulma answered her friend's son. What's going on? What does Bulma being older than your mum have to do with menopause? Videl asked, having not heard Bulma mention the baby things, and she also couldn't sense anything different from the scientist's kai. I'm pregnant, Bulma said. I only found out I was pregnant when Vegeta asked me what menopause was after I'd been complaining for a few days. I, of course, told him what menopause is. He looked rather horrified for a few seconds and started laughing. He told me, you're not going through menopause, you're pregnant, and then walked off. How's Vegeta able to tell when you didn't even know? Videl asked. Vegeta could sense the baby's kai, Gohan explained. Gohan and Videl were moving the baby things down the hall to a room that used to be Vegeta's bedroom, hoping that they wouldn't run into the children while Bulma wasn't around. Goten! A very familiar voice of Gohan's mother yelled out. Gohan, have you seen your brother? Last time I saw him, he was with Trunks and Marin trying to pour something onto Videl and I, Gohan answered his mother. Gohan and Videl both noticed the change in Chi-Chi's behaviour and then looked at what they were holding. Is there something that you two are not telling me? Chi-Chi asked, looking at the two carrying baby stuff. I don't know what you're talking about, Chi-Chi, Videl said, pretending to be a bit clueless to the fact that Chi-Chi was grandchild crazy. The baby stuff, Chi-Chi pointed. Why do you have all the baby stuff? She asked in anticipation. Bulma is sorting through things and asked us to help, Gohan said to his mother. Do you want to help? We have to move it to the room that used to be Vegeta's when he first came to the planet. Why would Bulma want baby stuff moved into Vegeta's old room? Chi-Chi asked the two suspiciously. You should ask Bulma that, Videl said, stopping Gohan from answering. Videl? Gohan said nervously. Run! Dropping the baby things that he was holding and grabbing onto his girlfriend's hand. Chi-Chi blinked and then looked at all the baby things on the floor, picking some of the things up only to have them knocked from her arms a few moments later when two blurs came past her. Trunks! Goten, wait up! Marin said, running down the hall, followed closely by Tarbell. Marin, what are you and the boys doing? Chi-Chi asked the young girl. We're trying to give a love potion that we made to Gohan and Videl, Marin answered sweetly. But Gohan and Videl are already dating and love each other. Why would they need a love potion? Chi-Chi said, worried that the pair's relationship wasn't as good as it appeared to be. It's because they're not married yet and don't have a baby. Marin answered, almost making Chi-Chi's heart melt. We want someone new to play with. Gohan and Videl had now locked themselves in Vegeta's gravity room, finally escaping the children once again. Is Vegeta going to kill us if he finds us in here? Videl asked her boyfriend, hoping Vegeta would stay away. I won't let anything happen to you, Gohan promised, hoping that he'd be able to protect himself and the girl he loved from Vegeta if he was to find them touching his property. So what now? Videl said, starting to get bored with the constant hiding from the children. We could study, Gohan suggested, looking for the capsule that he carried everywhere with him with his university assignment. Videl just sighed. We're in a gravity chamber and your first thought is to study? If you were a racer and sharpener, your first thought would have been something else. Can't we practice martial arts? Oh yeah, Gohan started laughing. We haven't practiced together in ages. I'll put the gravity up to 10 times Earth gravity. Bulma can handle that, so you should be able to. How can you stand this much gravity? Videl said. She had trouble moving once Gohan turned the gravity on. How can Bulma handle this? I've trained with Vegeta a few times over the years. I can handle a few 100 times Earth gravity. Bulma was trying to prove something. She can be very competitive. I keep forgetting that you're part alien and can take more than humans. Videl sighed. She sometimes still thought of Gohan as the nerd that she met when she started high school. Gohan and Videl had been practicing for around half an hour, or more to the point. Videl had been training and Gohan had been giving her pointers. What are you brats doing in here? Vegeta yelled as he opened the door, not happy about finding his gravity chamber already occupied. We're training, Gohan answered Vegeta. While hiding from the kids, they were trying to pour a love potion on us, Videl finished for Gohan. She'd collapsed at the sudden change of gravity. I don't care if you're hiding. Get out! Vegeta pointed towards the door. Gohan was glad that Vegeta hadn't gone super on him, as he often did. Gohan helped Videl up. Together they left. The pair had just walked out the door when they felt something wet and cold hit both of them on the head, and it didn't stop pouring until they were completely soaked. They both tried to get away. Gohan would have succeeded if Videl was fast enough to escape. He refused to leave her behind. Yes, we finally got them, Trunks yelled out in triumph. Goten and Trunks, Gohan yelled as the two boys flew off into the distance. Goten, Trunks, I can't fly, Marin yelled out, who had been hiding in the nearby bushes. I'll take you, Tarbell offered. He had been following his nephew and Goten, and was finding that he was unable to keep up with the two hyperactive children. Let's go and get cleaned up, Gohan said, taking his girlfriend's hand and walking back into Bulma's apartment. What do you think their love potion does? Videl asked, hoping that she wasn't about to sprout extra limbs. No idea, but I guess we're about to find out eventually, Gohan said, hoping that there would be no effects. If it actually worked, wouldn't that mean nothing would happen because they were already in love with each other? Gohan was getting changed in one of the bedrooms while Videl was in the bathroom. Both had capsules with their change of clothes. Gohan, can you help? Videl shouted from the bathroom. I only have my underpants on, Gohan shouted back. I don't care, this stuff's gone hard, and I can't get my shirt off, Videl shouted. Just hurry up and help. Okay, Gohan said sheepishly, walking in to help his girlfriend out of the shirt that had turned solid. I broke your shirt, Gohan said, watching the shirt crumble. I'm going to kill those kids when I get my hands on them. That was my favourite fighting shirt, Videl said, trying to bend down and pick up the pieces of her broken shirt. To find herself overbalancing and unable to move her legs to stop herself from falling. Are you alright? Gohan asked, looking at his girlfriend laying face down on the floor. Can you help me get my pants off as well? Videl screamed, because I don't want to be stuck like this forever. Coming, Gohan said, kneeling down to help his girlfriend out of her pants. Gohan was brushing the remains of Videl's pants away when he heard the door open. Both the university students looked up to see the excited 9-year-old and a shocked mother. Yay, the love potion worked! I'm going to be an uncle! Goten shouted. But you two aren't married yet, Chi-Chi shrieked. I want grandchildren, but I would like for you to be married before you took that step to get me grandchildren. Chi-Chi started to lecture. It was the first both young adults had heard on the matter. Normally she was encouraging them to make her a grandmother already. This is not what it looks like, Gohan said, standing up, realizing that he only had his underwear on. He blushed. While his mother had seen him in his underwear plenty of times, Videl, on the other hand, hadn't. She didn't like being seen in her underwear by anyone. She hid behind Gohan as much as possible. This is so embarrassing, Videl said, wishing everyone would leave them alone. Goten and Trunks were playing in Bulma's lab. Gohan started to explain, getting interrupted by his mother. Trying to get me to concentrate on the mischief that your younger brother has done so that I can forget yours and Videl's actions is not a very nice thing to do, Gohan-san, Chi-Chi continued to lecture. But, Mom, I haven't finished yet. Gohan interrupted, hoping that his mother wouldn't bring out her weapon of mass discipline. Goten and Trunks made a love potion for Videl and I. We were running from them all afternoon, and when we came out of hiding from Vegeta's gravity machine, they poured their so-called love potion all over us. The potion made our clothes solid so I couldn't move, and I had to ask Gohan to help me get mine off since my strength wasn't enough to destroy my clothing, Videl said, still hiding behind Gohan, pointing to her hardened clothing on the ground. I think that it's done the same to my hair, Videl said, as she demonstrated trying to move some of her hair. Goten, is this true? Chi-Chi asked the younger boy. Goten stared at the ground as he nodded. I'm sorry, Videl and Gohan. I'm sorry, Mummy. Videl was back at the Sun House and was sitting in Chi-Chi and Goku's bathroom in a bathrobe, as Chi-Chi tried to wash the love potion out of Videl's hair. Gohan was upstairs in the boys' bathroom having a shower. You're going to make such a wonderful daughter-in-law one day, Chi-Chi said while washing Videl's hair. She got a solution from Bulma that helped, but still took a long time. And a wonderful mother. I don't think that I'm ready for that yet. I mean, I'm still 19. Videl answered, wishing that the subject didn't have to be brought up on a regular basis. You're already older than I was when I got married. When I was 19, I'd been married for a year and had a beautiful baby son, Chi-Chi said dreamily. You should have seen him. He was so cute. Don't get me wrong, Goten was a beautiful baby. But there was just something about Gohan. Maybe it was because he was my first. I would love grandchildren, especially if they're anywhere as near as cute as Gohan was when he was born. I love my grandchildren no matter what. Back in the upstairs bathroom, Gohan had finally found a solution to getting the love potion out of his hair. The only problem was Videl wouldn't be able to do the same thing to get the solution out of her hair. Why did you power up to Super Saiyan, son? Goku asked, who came inside curious about the sudden power fluctuation that came from his eldest son. Gohan relayed the adventures of that afternoon. Instead of making us fall in love like they had planned, it turned our clothes and our hair rock hard, Gohan said, turning back to normal and checking that his hair was no longer cement-like. Goku looked confused for a few seconds before asking, Don't you love Videl anymore? What? Gohan asked, confused as to where that question had come from. Of course I still love Videl. Why would you even ask if I still love her? Then why did Goten and Trunks pour love potion on you? Goku asked, scratching his head. Because they want Videl and I to get married and have a baby, Gohan said, simply turning to get a towel so that he could have a shower when his father left. Well, why aren't you guys married yet? Your mum and I were already married and had you at your age. I want to finish my study first. It's my top priority at the moment, Gohan answered. We aren't always going to be living in times of peace, son. This is the perfect time to get married and start a family. Trunks, the one from the future, told me that the you from the other timeline never got married and never had any children because you were constantly fighting. The other version of you didn't have time for anything except fighting for his life and training to become stronger, or time taken up recovering from serious injuries. What would happen if we ended up in a time of war? You wouldn't have time to finish your studies. Would you have time for Videl? Goku asked, leaving the bathroom, leaving Gohan to think things through properly. Gohan and Videl were sitting under one of the many trees on the sun's property. Videl was running her fingers through her hair, amazed that Chi-Chi was able to get the love potion out without shaving her head. You look so pretty, Gohan said, blushing. I'm wearing your mother's clothes. Videl said, wondering how any boy could think that their girlfriend was pretty while wearing their mother's clothes. It's the third time I've seen you wearing a dress in 2 years, Gohan said, blushing even more if that was possible. I don't like dresses. Your mother gave me another wedding and grandchild lecture, Videl said, rolling her eyes. Believe it or not, my dad gave me one as well, Gohan said, still slightly confused why his father had given him the lecture in the first place. I mean, we're not ready to get married yet, we're still too young, Videl said, trying to think up more reasons than the too young excuse that she kept using. Even though we're already older than my parents when they got married, Gohan said, wondering why his parents had got married so young in the first place. Plus, I still have to study. My parents got married while my mum was still studying to become a teacher, Videl said, wishing that her mother was still around to ask advice. And she didn't have to put her study aside after she was married. Will you marry me? The squeaky voice of Videl's boyfriend asked. Did you just ask what I think you just asked? Videl asked, wondering if she'd heard correctly. Considering they were both trying to come up with excuses not to get married, all Gohan could do in response was nod. Videl then continued speaking. Where did this question come from all of a sudden? I mean, we've been trying to avoid the marriage thing since we started dating. Why now? But my dad said, if we ended up in a time of war, would I still have time for you? I realized that I want to spend every moment with you, whether it's in time of peace or war, Gohan said, knowing he meant every single word. Yes, I'll marry you, Saiyaman, Videl said, leaning over to kiss her boyfriend, not believing that Gohan had asked her and that she'd said yes. Gohan and Videl, kissing under a tree, said a voice in the tree above them. Kissing. Goten, how much did you hear? Gohan asked, still bright red. You asked Videl to marry you, Goten shouted, jumping out of the tree and running towards the house. And I'm going to tell Mummy. Goten, you get back here now, Gohan shouted, chasing after his little brother. Gohan, stop him, Videl shouted, flying after her boyfriend and her soon-to-be brother-in-law. Mummy, Daddy, my love potion worked, Goten shouted out at the top of his lungs. Gohan asked Videl to marry him. This has been a Dragon Ball Z fanfiction reading of Love Potions. Thank you for listening.